My name is Don Bachardy. I was born in 1934.
When did your family move to Atwater?
In the early 30s. My father worked at Lockheed Aircraft in Burbank. He enjoyed his job a lot. My mother very much a housewife. My brother was Ted, Theodore, which he loathed. He just cringed if anybody called him Theodore. And he was 4 years older than I, and an ideal older brother. I went to Atwater Avenue Grammar School, Washington Irving Junior High, and Marshall High School. We were dedicated movie fans, and that's because my mother was also a dedicated movie fan. And the three of us, my mother, my brother Ted, and I, spent a lot of our days going to movies. And my father would have been very upset to know that my mother was taking us to big movie palaces downtown and in Hollywood and paying extra admissions because the theaters were so much more elegant and fun to go to. My mother could pad the grocery list of spending she made so as not to let my father know she was taking us to first-run movies. Pantages in Hollywood, the RKO, Hill Street, Lowe State, Warner Brothers, Paramount Theater.
And did you ever meet any movie stars?
I'll say, we crept into Hollywood premieres by picking out couples, a man and a woman the right age, going into the long line to get into the premiere screening that night. And we'd pick out the right couple, right age, and get very close to them, and even kind of pretend that we were talking to them. So, and they had never realized that we passed right in behind them, and we were never caught. Ted was very sly, and he taught me how to be as sly as he was. And we got autographs of movie stars at premieres at Pantages, Grauman's Chinese, the Egyptian. My father would take us to Sunday night movies. He knew nothing about the downtown movies with our mother in the early mornings. So we almost always saw the movies. He took us to cheap movie theaters, and we had to be careful not to let on we were seeing most of the movies for the second time. The first time we'd been downtown seeing the same movie when it first opened. Our father was never really interested in either of us. We were too movie-struck, too queer. I think we were queer enough to actually embarrass my father.
It sounds like you were very comfortable at a young age being gay. Did your mother recognize
gay as they get. Oh, my mother knew everything. Long before I got into my teens. Well, I started handling that from grammar school. I was always different from the other kids, always, and I had the sense to keep my mouth shut and never, ever let any of my school friends in on all of my other life. And my mother keeping almost all of it away from her husband, our father, all the secrets that we kept with no trouble at all from our father, Ted. He had boyfriends too. He was 4 years older than I, and his boyfriends were his own age, and I grabbed some of them while Ted was still sleeping with them. So I had to be very careful, yes. Yes, I remember World War II and my father working at Lockheed Aircraft, and that was a very considered, very necessary, noble job during the war because he was helping to win the war. The Atwater Theater went up in 1941 and brought the movies closer to us than they'd ever been before, but we all were already too sophisticated because our mother had been taking us to the movie palaces in downtown and Hollywood. So we made advancements. And as I say, Ted and I were already way too sophisticated for neighborhood movie theaters. They were our lifeblood, the red cars taking us from Atwater, where we lived, downtown to the major movie theaters.
Did you go down to the Los Angeles River?
Oh yes, and swam in it a lot. It had no real flow. It was just a series of pools of water over big rocks. But I enjoyed being there. It was quite a bike ride for Ted and me, but it was worth it.
What did you do in Griffith Park when you were a child, when you went to Griffith Park?
Go to the plunge. It had a very good plunge for swimming, and I loved swimming. My mother was responsible. She drew when she was a girl, and she had real talent for drawing. She showed us the drawings that she did. Well, a mother you love showing you drawings that seemed wonderful to us both. We started drawing, Ted and I. Ted got very good. He drew much better than I. He was 4 years older. But I caught up with him and eventually got to be as good as he. And finally, he more or less gave it up, and I kept up working. By the time I was 18, for an 18-year-old, I was a very good draftsman because I loved doing it. And eventually, I met my first and magic lover, Christopher Isherwood, a much older man who I fell in love with. He was Ted's lover first, and even while Ted was still seeing him, I was snatching nights or afternoons or whatever with his friend.
No animosity about taking Chris away?
Oh, he threw him away. He threw him in my lap. And I grabbed him, yeah. He was writing movies while we were sleeping together. Imagine, I eventually, this was long after Ted had, my brother dropped him because he was very popular and he got always the best, youngest, good-looking men. And by then I was already seeing Chris, but being much more careful of him as my boyfriend, man friend, lover than Ted ever was. And eventually we became deep lovers. I buried him after years of absolute gorgeous happiness. And he was older than my father.
But so how many years were you together?
Until he died.
Okay.
Decades.
So you would say he was the love of your life?
Yes, yes, yes. Yum, yum, yum. And he was writing movie scripts in most of the years that we were living together. So he was meeting people on the movie lots, working with them often, and then in the evenings, having dinner with them and me. He was distinguished, and rightly distinguished. Very, very talented writer. He knew all about art. He introduced me to famous painters. My favorite British painter, Francis Bacon. Yes, sittings with Francis Bacon, just because he knew Chris, and we became friends. How could you be luckier than that? I couldn't think of anything that lacked in my life that wasn't incredibly lucky. And that lasted for years. My father and mother stayed in the same house for, a decade or more before they moved into an apartment house in Hollywood. I would have dinners with my parents and Chris. And everything was open, and even my father got to be very fond of Chris. Chris was such a charmer. He could entertain anybody because he wasn't kidding. Oh, he was so open and so much himself. And oh, he made my life magic. He even knew how to talk to my father. And my father, when Ted and I turned out to be just two queers to him, eventually he was forgiving queers. They had no choice. I mean, like it or leave it.
Did you have any long friendships from Atwater, or not really?
No. And I still don't.
Except us, okay.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Yes, I have nothing against Atwater. I actually still love going there. It's full of memories. I'm still doing sittings with people and loving it. I've had such a happy, full life. How could I look grumpy or sad? I've been incredibly lucky. I feel I've been so lucky, it makes me love people all the more because I want to share it with them. I've had it so good, I want to make it as good for them as I can.